About 6 years, I met a brother, and he lived in Atlanta, and his daughter is now in college. But when I met him, he lived in Atlanta. His daughter was in high school, and he was sharing with me that she was in public school down there, but there was some stuff going on with little girls down there that him and his wife weren't pleased in. So he had made a decision that he was going to put his daughter into a Christian high school down there, and he was going on to tell me how expensive it was. He didn't really have a steady job, and his wife had a good job, and she wanted the child to go to that school. That he had made a decision to say that they were going to put her in that school. But through those 4 years of putting her in that school, it was amazing for me to hear him. And he was saying, I was like, wow, man, high school, and they were paying $15,000 a year for her to go to that high school, man. He would drive her to school every day, and he would bring her home every day. But every time tuition time came for him to pay that tuition for the school, he would just have crazy faith. But her parents were well off, his wife's parents, and they were accountants in Atlanta. So every time the tuition was due, it would be to that time. But I kind of knew that he knew once the daughter, his wife, called her parents and said, Mom, your granddaughter is not going to be able to go to school. Tuition needs to be paid. So basically for 4 years, the grandparents paid for her to get through that high school, amen. And many times now the young lady is in her second year of college, amen. And she's in her second year, and she first got a scholarship to get there, but through that time of going up there for the first year, the same scenario happened. It was got her a little bit of money to get her in school, and when tuition was due, things got tight, and my man just kept his mouth shut and looked at his wife. His wife called her dad, and Dad, your granddaughter tuition needs to be paid, and he sent a check and paid the tuition at the school. But I want to say about, he knew after all this time, going on 5 years, that the parents, the grandparents will make a way, and he would rely on her parents to pay that way for the tuition. And I want to say not too long ago, maybe about 2 months ago, it was spring break or winter break. So winter break, the young lady came home from school, and we asked her how she was doing, and she got good grades, and a matter of fact, she got great grades, and she was on the dean's list. So we kept asking, when is your daughter going back to school? And lo and behold, they were making plans for her to go back to school, but he said a letter came, said, your daughter can't come back to school. She won't get her books because her tuition needs to be paid. But this time when he was thinking or relying on the parents to pay that tuition, the parents, his wife's mother lives in D.C., she got sick, and so she's 92, so she got sick, so now she's in Washington Hospital Center, and so they flew up from Atlanta, so now they're worried about grandma and all of them at the hospital. So now she, at 92 years old, she caught pneumonia in her lungs, and so he was running up to the hospital trying to be there for the family, and day went back. So it came to be the day of him to go, for the daughter to go back and catch the plane, because they bought tickets whiles ago so that she can get back to go to school. So lo and behold, he would come around us, and he just kept saying, man, I've been sowing seeds. And he was on the prayer line saying, I've been sowing seeds. And he said, man, I don't know how we want to do it, but he said, my daughter needs $8,000. He kept saying it for about a month, saying my daughter needs $8,000. And he kept saying, man, I'm willing to do anything. And he was trying, and he was saying stuff, but the $8,000 never showed up his way. None of his buddies, nobody said, I got 50, I got 250. Nobody said that. And then lo and behold, I could hear in his voice that he really said that he was thinking, man, somebody gonna call her father, and her father gonna make a phone call and say, hey, that money is in there. I want to say the day before she got to get on that plane, he called, he said, man, Rob, man, this don't make no sense. He said, ain't nobody mentioned about this little girl tuition getting paid, going back to school. So he called me that day for her to get back on the plane, and he called it, so he couldn't let his daughter know, so he got the daughter in the car. She hearing us praying on the phone, and he said, Rob, man, I'm on my way to the airport to put her on the plane. And he said, I don't know how she's going to get in school, but she's getting on the plane to go up there. Lo and behold, he said, I called him and I said, how's she doing? He said, well, I'm on my way back. But But she was on the plane, and not only but an hour later, he called me and sent me an email that was sent to his wife through a text, and it says, his wife's name, but it says that, lo and behold, his father, her parents didn't send the money this time, but God made a way that the school told them to call the school and ask for some help. The school replied to them and said, why did you wait so long to ask for help? The school gave her a scholarship for the whole $8,000. We can get comfortable with how God used to work and how God used to bless you. And see, he could have got comfortable. Matter of fact, he did get comfortable on how God would bless him through her parents to pay for that tuition. But God says, I need you to realize that every day you wake up, there is new grace and there's new mercy. Don't you count on that old stuff that I used to give you. And so now he had a new way to see that God could still make a way out of no way. God wanted to know if he was going to keep faith. So now he realized that sometimes they're relying on, because see, man going to look out for you, but sometimes man will make you wait to the last minute to make you sit there and sit in bed. But God says, long as you keep doing my work, sometimes I might not make you make a man, make you beg for a man, and God just made a way out of nowhere. And so today we come here and we look at this text here in verses 21 through 23, and I want to say the same scenario that my buddy had. We're going to tag this today on this journey. Good God Almighty, I need you to understand that we're on a journey. This is not a sprint. This is not a stroll in the park, but this is called a journey. And Kurt, I want you to understand that when I say journey, this says this is a long walk. This is a long road. And if any of y'all come here today to think you're going to sprint down this thing, I want to tell you, you're going to run out of gas. Amen. I see that, Daddy, because last night, Daddy, we danced, but after a little while, we had to go sit down. Guess what? We then ran out of breath. We then ran out of air. But God says, I need you to learn how to walk in this journey. But see, it's going to be some stuff sometimes on this journey that we're going to have to make a stand as some leaders, make a stand as some men. And on this journey, I want us to understand that when we're on this journey, make sure, oh my God, make sure you with the Lord. I need you to understand today. Don't you get caught on this journey without the Lord. Amen. Because Brother Sucker told us the other day that there's over 7,000 promises in the Bible. And I try to tell you that outside of the Lord, you ain't got them promises. And I need you to make sure today that you're on the Lord's side. And since now that you're on the Lord's side, on this long journey, make sure that you're with him. And first thing first, I need us to see right here in verse 21, it says, there by a harbor canal, I proclaimed a fast so that we might humble ourselves before our God and ask him for a safe journey for us and our children with all of our possessions. I need you to understand that on this journey, you're going to have to make some proclamations. This is not a saying that you wake up and life shows up and you say, man, I think I'm going to make it. I think I can get through. It's saying that sometimes on this journey, you're going to have to stand up with some authority and say, even though it's dark outside, good God Almighty, even though it's dark, even though it's raining outside, I'm going outside and I'm not going to get wet because I'm in the Lord. I'm going to show up to work. You need to make some proclamations sometimes on this journey, and I mean it, and you got to say it with authority. And the only way that you can say this thing with authority is because I'm under authority. The man with all power in his hand. Good God Almighty, can I get a witness up in here today? I need you to understand that it's saying here, it says, there by a harbor canal, I proclaim a fast. And see, I need you to understand when you get back up on your own time, jump back up to verse 15. It says, I assembled them at the canal that flows toward a harbor, and we camped there 3 days. When I checked among the people and the priests, I found no Levites there. I need you to understand, y'all. We going on 3 years here, and so now we must pause by some natural stuff. But I need you to understand Ezra and what's going on. They knew for sure, and I know for sure, you should know for sure that the God is with us. Good God Almighty, I can't get no help. I need you to understand that God is with us. If you can't recognize that God is with us here. But now we must take a pause for the cause. Right where we are. And he's saying that now that we take a pause, I got to check the record. I need to check the roll call before we go any further, Kurt, because I need to check and see who's here. And so Ezra checked the roll call and he saw, Kurt, that there was some people missing, y'all. Look beside you today. It's some people missing. God wants to take us somewhere, but it's some important people missing. So what he did is when he realized that it was some important people missing, he put out a word and said, guess what? We need to go get them. Because see, God wants us to go somewhere, but I need you to realize and understand it's going on 3 years and we need some help. And so what he realized here, he knew that he was called from God. He knew that God put a anointing on his life. He knew that he was going to do the work for the Lord. But he did a roll call and he checked. And he said, we don't have no Levites. This Levites means because Ezra was a priest, but he knew the Levites knew their place in the temple. They knew their place in the Lord. They was to assist him. Because he knew when he got there, it was going to be some work. And God come and tell us that as we got to go somewhere, but when we get there, we going to need some help. Amen. We all right there, but we need to realize that when we get there, then we need help. So now when we get there, it says, thereby, however, I proclaim the fast so that we might humble ourselves before our God and ask him for a safe journey. It says, I proclaimed a fast. So they were on this journey. They had a long way to go, Brother Malik. And see, when you assess this situation, when you truly sing and you truly say, Lord, live in me. I want to be a different person. Guess what? It's going to be some dangers to come your way. Good God, y'all don't hear me. Every day you wake up ain't going to be peaches and cream. When you decide to be on the Lord's side, when you decide to say, I'm going to walk for the Lord, everybody not happy that you left the park. Good God. Everybody not happy that you switched partners. Everybody not happy that you don't sit by the cooler no more. You don't believe it, but some people praying that you get back there. Some people praying that you fail. And if you don't realize you're going to need some help on this journey. And so he realized, he says, man, that I need you to understand. I want us to understand what lies ahead of us, Sister Joelle. We're gonna get some people praying for you to get some bad doctor's reports. You're going to get some people praying and hoping something happened to your children. And so we got to realize we got to be fortified on every side. Good God Almighty. And so when you realize that this thing ain't nothing to be played with, I need to know if you with me, if you with me, if you're not, get out of my face. Because I need to know who's in the box with me. Because I can't look up and say, man, my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my children on the line, and I went to go grab you and say, let's go get them, and you ain't there. I need to know. Amen. I need to know. He says, so we proclaimed fast. I need y'all to understand here. See, they were coming from Babylon, and God had put favor on their life. They were in captivity. God put favor on Ezra's life to touch the king. So whatever he asked the king gave him. So the king said, man, you can go back to Jerusalem and build the temple. These jokers gave him money, gold, everything that they want. The king provided and said, go back, you can do it. So now he told them that he can go back and do it. But on this second journey for them to go back to Jerusalem, only 1,500 people came back. Now, there was a whole lot of people in captivity. But the reason I want us to see this is because these people that decided not to come back, they were content with being in captivity. They were content in being where they were. All right, so guys, come on. It's a whole lot of people you done invited to come here, Joel. But they ain't come. And they got all hell breaking loose in their life. All right. But they comfortable with that situation because they say, I don't want to rock the boat. And the same way that these Israelites were, they were secure and comfortable in their locked up situation. Being trapped, being told to do with somebody else. And I come to tell you that even though when we leave here today and we go invite some people, everybody not going to come. Because they secure and they comfortable. And see, sometimes they've been so long in that state that they didn't forgot that zeal that you first had for the Lord. These jokers been trapped up for so long. They say, man, this thing ain't real. This is all that life. It says, these the cards I've been dealt, I'm going to stick with them, these. But which they say, as Kenny Rogers say, know when to fold them and know when to walk away. I've been dealt some cards, and guess what? I'm not keeping these cards. Because now that I'm with the Lord, guess what? The Lord say, Rob, you can put them in and trying to tell you, see, Malik, we can do the best we can with them cars, but I'm trying to tell you, when we on the Lord's side, he can put something in our hand, and tell man, nah, don't put that card out, put the other card. Why you shouldn't have put that card out? Make a joke, make a bluff a joke, and they man, he ain't got 21 and I ain't got but 16, but they bust. That was old Uncle there. Need you to understand, he proclaimed the fast. I need us to understand that he proclaimed the fast so that we might humble ourselves before our God and ask. Remember, they had favor on their life. They had favor on their life. Ezra had favor on his life. He knew God was with him. But he knew what lies ahead. So he says, I want to humble myself in the, I hear you talk. I want to humble myself in the presence of the Lord. Too many times we come and we don't want to humble ourselves, but he says, I dwell with the lowly. I dwell with the humble. So it says, before our God, to ask him for a safe journey for us and our children with all our possessions. I had to stay there for a little while there because it messed with me when it saw family and children. And see, I saw journey is because, see, Kurt, as we talked on Thursday, I realized this thing is forever. Forever means forever. So I'm on a journey till he come get me. But since I'm on a journey till he come get me, and we together, we need some protection. Amen. So when he said children, Kurt, and wives, he's saying they are vulnerable. We supposed to be in the front. But see, the enemy don't care nothing about it. Sometimes the enemy can come in the back door to try to go get the women and the kids. So since we realize we can't be everywhere at all times, but we serve a God that's... I'm just trying to teach you how to fight for your family. And see, not only did he hit me here, he realized that, see, they knew it wasn't just because I didn't have no kids. It didn't because I didn't have no nieces or nephews. I'm in the house of the Lord. I'm a part of God's community. So if you got kids, I got kids. If you got aunts, I got aunts. If you hurt, I hurt. So I got to pray for all of us. So we all are on a journey on this road together. So that must mean if I don't see Eddie, I got to pray for Eddie because I want to make sure he's all right. But I'm hoping, Joel, that Eddie is praying for me and good God and my kids. Because if we going to get there, we got to get there safely, but we got to pray one for another. He said, and the Joker covered everything, Misha. He said, we're going to humble ourselves before our God. Now, nobody else can ask him for a safe journey. He said, so that he can protect us from harm and danger. For us and our children and all of our possessions. Ain't you tired of losing some stuff? Every time you get something, somebody want to take it away from you. It's like sometimes I feel like I got a pocket with a hole in it. Sometimes, I'm just trying to tell you, not even that, sometimes God might give me a hot shot and I'm excited about some diamond and then somebody try to steal my joy. But I got to learn how to say, devil, you won't steal this joy no more. And I need you to understand, I can't fight it on my own. I need you to be praying. Don't let them steal Pastor Rob's joy. Because I'm praying for you. He's saying I need a safe journey. Because everything I got now down, you can't have none of it. I want all my stuff. Y'all got to make sure when we pack up and you roll with your, hey, when you get on this road, y'all got to make sure everything you pack up to say that we going. Now Malik, you work with me. You come to somebody's house and they say I'm moving uptown. Now you pack up all the stuff. You think they're gonna be cool if you lose 5 boxes? No. God said we moving on up to the big house. Good God Almighty, Jefferson. Now everything that we packed up, I'm expecting when we get there to be there with all But I need you to understand, on this journey, it ain't sweet. It's dangerous, high. It's some ambushes. It's some jokers that's going to come up in here and try to sneak in. We got to have some eyes
somebody's trying to steal our possessions. What you talking about, preacher? We got some love in the house. We got some caring in the house. We got some good sisters in the house. We got some good brothers in the house. We got some faithfulness in the house. Don't you let them steal our possessions. What's ours is ours. Hear me, man. He's saying we got to pray. And see, Malik, as men, we got to get mad sometimes. Baltimore, you got to say this thing with authority. I'm not letting you take these young. Everybody that gave up on the youngest, thinking they all got to go back. We got to make a proclamation, say, no, you can't have the youth of First Christian Church alone. We got to make it. All girls not going to go that way. You got to make a proclamation and say, no, you can't have these little girls. You got to make a proclamation and say, all men not bad. No, you can't have another man. You got to stand up with some authority. We got to stop letting the world tell us who we are. We got to stand up and realize whose we are. Man, you got to make a proclamation. Say it, what they say, say it with some bass in your voice. On this journey, there will be some proclamations that have to be made. Verse 22 says, I was ashamed to ask the king for soldiers and horsemen to protect us from enemies on the road, because we had told the king, the gracious hand of our God is on everyone who looks to him, but his great anger is against all who forsake him. On this journey, Sister Joyce, we got to realize, and I hope that we realize now that we've been here for a while, that we need some protection. And Diamond, in other words, when you look at this text, we're working with the P's, I want y'all to know. So you need your protection, but in other words, we're going to need some help, Sister Joelle. You're going to need some assistance. But now you've been around a little while, right? You done had some friends, this and that and other. So today you have to make a decision. Whose help and whose protection do you want? Do you want man or do you want God? Good God Almighty. See, you can't make that decision at the beginning. You got to stay in the process for a while. You got to go because, see, we got some loyalty to some friends. But see, we got to go a little while to realize no matter how much our friends love us, no matter how much man loves us, they can't get us where we need to go. They can't fill that hole in your heart. See, he can't protect you at all times. She can't protect you at all. God Almighty. Think about that one that you relied on, that you needed to protect you, and then when they go on home to glory. Oh my God. Yeah. See, now I'm stuck in the middle with a hole in it because I put all of my hope in man. But man, we know, got to leave it. Y'all hear what I'm saying? They got to leave it. They can't stay here forever. So he's saying, get your house in order. We ain't going to be here forever. So as long as we here with our kids and our loved ones, we love them and tell them, I can do as much as I can for you, but I need you to understand. Hook up with God. Amen. Hook up with God. Because I'm going to fail you, I'm going to get sick, but I got to let you know, if you hold on to his unchanging hand. God Almighty, Joel, let's get it. He says, I was ashamed to ask the king for soldiers and horsemen to protect us from our enemies on the road. Watch this, Diamond. See, you spend enough time with God and you stay in this walk, and you realize that sometimes God will start taking feathers out of the nest to make you uncomfortable. But God is trying to speak to you. And I need everybody here to know that God has a purpose and a plan for each and every last one of our lives. And as my buddy saw in his life, and we got to realize in our life, no matter what your grandmother, your father, your mother, your cousin, however God worked that thing out for them, it's not necessarily how he worked it out for you. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. And see, Sister Joella, when God put this thing on me for the church, never been here, never wanted this, didn't know how to do it. But I had some friends Derek. So I thought, okay, Eddie, if God, you calling me to start a church, so I'm going to go ask the other buddies that got church. Now remember, start church, we ain't got no money either. So I'm thinking, I need to ask some people with churches that got some money, that got some ministries, and maybe they'll give me a little handout so that we can get started. So I go to 2 close buddies, pastors, and tell them what God says, and they were happy. One says, man, how you going to do that with no money? And I said, I don't know, but God said. So he said, man, you going to leave this church and go do that with no money? I said, I don't know. What to tell you is, I'm just telling you what God said. So then he came up with, okay, if you do this, and that, and the other, maybe we can write something out so that we can start sending you some help. So I was like, oh, that sounds good, Joel. So I did this, that, and the other. Then it sounded like, now you got to do this. I said, oh, I got to keep doing this. So I said, you know what? June, we gone. With or without. And when June came, we went without. So I go up the road to talk to another buddy. Oh, man. So your man left you high and dry and ain't give you nothing. Nah, but this is what God says. And I'm, oh, well, I wish I would have known before, because, I could put something, present it to the board, and see about getting you. Matter of fact, I'm going to get you some money so that you can get some pastor support. All right. This going to work. When you start, we started. 1 month go by, 2 months go by. We have the first anniversary. I like, maybe they going to bring it and put the check in the bank. Put God on my other buddy started a church that was under them. And he said, yeah, Doc, Doc and them sending me a check every month for pastor support. We doing good down there. I said, I couldn't mention what Doc said to me. And I just said, I guess Doc ain't giving me no check. So we moving on. No money from nowhere else, but we moving on. And slowly but surely, I'm like, God, how we doing this? And they didn't give me no money. But I never asked them for no money. They offered money. But since I told them that God said for us to start a church, I couldn't come back and say, man, we can't start it. Can you give me some money? Amen. Now I'm ashamed. Because if I go back and ask them, I'm going to be embarrassed, because now I'm questioning, did God tell me that? Oh, y'all don't hear me. So God said, Rob, you're going to have to decide. Either you're going to ask man and keep jumping through the hoops, or you're going to trust him. Good God. So we started a Bible study, and I kept praying, and I kept praying, and I kept praying. Maybe we started Bible study, September was coming, and I said, God, you sure say September? You sure say that? I said, hey, y'all, I guess we're going to start church in September. But I said, God, so I go and ask my buddies, I said, man, how do you ask people to start giving to the church so that we can start a church service? And they said, man, you just going to have to ask. And I said, I can't ask. So we just started, and I said, we starting in September. We figured out a way to pay for the school for the first Sunday. Never asked y'all for a dime. We came and started that first Sunday. Derek said that we going to come and help y'all. Ray said, Diesel said that they can come here. We started. Tucker came in the front of the church with the basket. But God, all I did was trust what he said. Did we ever ask y'all to beg God for some money? No. Always, God said, do it and stand in front of this church. And God touched y'all to get this. And every Sunday y'all give it, we pay for this school, and we pay for that little place over there. But I was ashamed and embarrassed. And to this day, they still smile in my face. But guess what? They say, how you doing, Doc? I say, we doing good. See, they can't get none of it. Every day I wake up and I see y'all, we come in and we write that check for these schools once a month. God, God is the only one to get the glory. He's the only one to get the glory. And so I realized that, and sometimes that you're going to have, y'all, because I thought man was the one going to give us